Welcome back to the channel, folks. Keith here from Cmonthehoopsceltic. So we're here in the hump day. One say it's a hump day after it actually beating St Mirren 4-0 away at St Mirren Park. I'm here with Liam and I'm here with Connor. So lads across the pond there in the L dealing with snow at the moment. Snowed up to his eyeballs over there in Scotland. So what do you think of the results tonight, Connor?
Oh, I'm happy. Karma's a fucking bitch. I said 4-0 the last time I went to play St Mirren. It didn't happen, and it happened this week. It's like they're a couple of weeks too late, but you know what? I'm happy. We're getting the results, and all we can hope for is the Huns slip up more.
All right, we'll have to see. We won't mention the H word in this page tonight. We'll keep it. We'll say them or Rangers, as you would call it. You know, them. But that's one of our games in hand. It was a very slow first half, I have to say. Very slow first half. But you know what? It was a marquee finish by Tom Rogic. That left foot, the turn into the far corner. Usually it goes a bit higher, but you know what? Back in the net, that's what you need. Liam, what do you think of Rogic's goal?
Yeah, I think it was brilliant. It's just a typical Tom Rogic goal for outside the box, so I thought he finished it well enough. That's what I like to see with Tom Rogic's good footwork. He doesn't need to run, because he's not got that much pace. But I mean, see, as long as he's banging the goals in like that, then I've got no problem being in the park.
We were impressed with the performance by Rogic tonight, Connor.
Oh, mate, Aussie Tam done well. I've not seen him play that well in months. I feel like the whole team's been lifted for some reason. And I don't know if there was negativity with certain players that are now gone or what, but the team seemed to be clicking more, and Aussie Tam was man of the match for me tonight.
Man of the match. Well, you have to say, Welch played quite well. Welch took that guy out. St Mirren's attacker out at the start of the game. McGrath, he's obviously his elbow was in bits. They took him off. But I was impressed with Oyer tonight, with Welch, with Taylor. Kenny played quite well. I know he had a few little mistakes in the first half, but played quite well. Brown, it was an average game for Scott Brown tonight, I have to say. There was no mistake. He didn't really make many mistakes, or he just put the shift in, and that's what we wanted.
Yeah, I think for Scott Brown, ever since he's came back, he's almost been like a player manager. In that park, he's got everybody organised, and he's playing like he was doing last season. I thought at the start of the season that he never had the legs, but I mean, he's been winning his 50-50s. He's been doing brilliant. I couldn't ask for any more from him,
100%. Also, Antwerp scoring again. Look at nice penalty. Yeah. He knew it was coming.
Yeah, it was a brilliant penalty. It was just into the top corner. I mean, that's the kind of penalties he needs to be scoring. No messing about. I didn't like his slow run up, but I mean, that's just the way he puts penalties in the net, as long as it's gone in.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. So Sarah Logue is saying we are back, boys. Here we go, 10 in a row. Fuck, no, definitely not. Good luck. Sorry, Sarah, but I'm not
enthusiasm. I really am.
God, no. I 10 in a row was well being gone.
Could change a lot.
No, we're literally, we have to play them twice. We could go on the winning run. We could go on the winning run, but we should have went on the winning run against Livingston and Hibs. So could have. Still, I think it's a bit too far away, to be honest. I'm not even thinking about the league. I just want to take every game as it comes, and then get this over and done with for the season. There's too much shit going on in the background that needs to be fixed. But the boys are putting the performance on the football pitch, getting results. It keeps some fans away. Now, obviously, there was the Green Brigade went out today with the banner about the review. All I want to say about the review is they said review in the new year. They never said it's going to be officially January, but there should be a review. And it's a case that they think that they've done their little review by law well gone. I don't know. What you think of that? Bleeding Liam. Sorry, I don't know who's Ross.
Well, from what Sarah said, I do appreciate her optimism, but we just got to take one game at a time and hopefully put pressure on Rangers. if we can put pressure on them and we can slacken the margin a wee bit, to like going for double fingers or single figures, then it's all right. The Green Brigade statement they made today at Parkhead, I'm not sure if the club's going to acknowledge it, because they haven't acknowledged anything apart from that protest that happened at the ground that nearly turned into a riot. That's the only thing they acknowledged, but I think that they're just going to ghost it out, to be honest. I think that the January review they were speaking about, I think the review will probably happen in February and March, because they probably don't know themselves. There's probably deals going on in the background that we don't know about.
I'm just hoping that they're in the background. David McCoy's sorting out a manager deal or something, because Connor, if Neil Lennon stays on next season, it's gonna be mayhem.
I'm going
Can't
back
forgive
to
him.
Rovers. I'm
Was
going
it?
back to the Rovers. I ain't following Celtic if Lennon's manager next year. I'm sorry. I can't do it again.
Well, we're getting all this fake speculation of like we're looking to keep Mohamed Enoussi on a permanent deal, $5 million. Do you think it's would you keep Mohamed Enoussi though
I would.
on a permanent?
Who else have we got at the left line that does the job that he does?
I would keep him on as well. He's still a young player. He's got quite a lot in his pedigree, as a football player. So he's only going to improve if we keep him on. I mean, we don't want to lose him to one of the big teams and then go, oh shit, we should have kept him.
Well, he's on loan anyway, so that's the main thing. Like, it's an option for him. And then there's talks of Laxall being kept on as well. And then, like, they're talking. I heard this. I don't know if it's true or not. It's talks of.
Don't see it. Don't even see it.
Yeah, the D-bomb. The talks of the D-bomb. The D-bomb.
No, man.
No, I don't think so. I definitely wouldn't, I definitely wouldn't.
I've noticed they had no shots on target until fucking Duffy came on the pitch.
Yeah, it's just to say that, and the ball went past him. He could have stuck his foot out and he just went bleh, just literally went past him. Welch is looking more solid than Duffy. Welch looks like he's paying for the short, He's a lot to learn, Welch.
Welsh young Welsh just came in. He's done well to come in. He's kept Duffy out of place, which is amazing. Well done to young boys, showing that week in, week out, he's fighting for that they kept, where not a lot of players were. And I think that's gave the rest of the team the boot up the arse that they needed.
Definitely, and that's what we needed. Davy Boy, Clandonald's. Now, Mohamed Enoussi has 14 goals this season for $5 million. Then I keep him. Well, people gonna keep forgetting his pedigree. He scored in Europe this season for us as well. He got us into the Europa League. He scored in crucial goals for us already this season. He scored a hat-trick as well against Motherwell. So he does have goal in his locker. It's just, I think a change of management, different style might motivate him. It depends on whoever comes in and sells the till to say, look, you want to stay here in a permanent deal? Because he could go back to Southampton and actually get a bit of game of football, but I don't know if he's going to be in Southampton's manager's plans.
Well, to be honest, they've got so many good players in the Premiership. I mean, they've got quite a lot of money to spend, money to throw around. I mean, look at Fraser Forster. He barely gets a game, but I mean, when he was at Celtic, he was first choice keeper. So it just shows you how much quality a lot of Premiership teams do have if they're keeping Fraser Forster out.
That's it. Well, he got that one game against Liverpool and the clean sheet. That's it. But Sarah's saying that she'd pay for Laxall to go back. I think Laxall has quality. It's just, as I said, every player has gone through a bit of a bad spell. We're all talking about Laxall when he came in for the first 5 games, saying this guy's looking something good. There's rumours that Albany he's staying in a hotel. He hasn't got his own place yet.
Yeah, that's not really good. That's the first time I've heard about it, and being stuck in a hotel away from your family from home. I mean, that's just a lonely place to be in. I mean, you can't interact with anybody. You have to stay in a hotel and then go to training.
People are trying to say, to expect these players to keep banging goals in, Imagine staying in, being basically cabin fever and just going out like to do your training and then going back because of this pandemic. Like, and then you're meant to be banging goals in every week. It's crazy. I really believe. Like, look at what happened with obviously Al Hamid. I had one gobshite today that was like, why did he even bother coming to us if he's gonna go home? It's a job. It's a job. Your family's number one priority. Will always be number one priority. And for so-called Celtic fans to come on and give him abuse about going home to his family and personal circumstances, this is not just came out of the blue. This has been going on for nearly 2.5, 3 months. Like this report.
Yeah,
I wish him the very best.
Yeah, I wish him the very best too. I mean, looking at video, seeing his wee boy, he just really missed his dad, you know. So there's not really much you can do if a player wants to go home and he's unsettled. So I do wish him the best in the rest of his playing career, but he was a good servant for us when he was here, you know.
That's it. You know, like he had a few solid games for us, and then just hasn't been the player. You know, like he done well against talking about Al Hamid. He done well against Motherwell when Mohamed Anusi got that nice header.
You can't really. I mean, if a guy's head's not in it mentally, like he's missing his son, he's missing his home, then you can't really reverse that psychology to a player to play well. So he's only human at the end of the day. Like the full team's only human, so they can only do what they're capable of doing.
I think is the case where we've gone past the whole fury of the like losing 10 now, and we just want the season over and done with. Like with these games, like we won 4-0 tonight, and I felt like the Zach saying last week, I'm like, why am I getting ahead? I'm not getting ahead of myself because yes, we've had a clean sheet. Congratulations, Scott Bain. But if we were still in the hunt for the league, yes, I'll be having a drink tonight. I'll be living up and like bring them on. But now it's just like 4-0. What do you think, Connor? Same buzz?
Listen, last Wednesday we won 4-0 and I wasn't happy for some reason. But this week it's kind of be like, okay, we're now picking up for him, we're now doing the right thing. We could potentially bring this gap closer to what we thought. Will we win the league? No. But we can do it to the point where the pressure's now on them. The pressure is on them majorly now. Because they know, fuck, Celtic are now scoring the goals again that they need.
I wouldn't say there's pressure on them. Like they're still in double figures. Like yes, we have a game in hand. Yes, we have to play them twice. Like I wouldn't say there's pressure on them. If they slip up the next game, that's when you start saying there's pressure on them. They've only slipped up that game against Hamilton.
We need to realise. Look at the last couple of games. They've only won by 1 goal. In the last couple of games, they've only been winning 1-0.
But it doesn't matter. They're getting results. Like us, we only won by 1 goal against Motherwell.
Oh no! Listen, the one we've got pressure on us as well. But I'm not denying that. But I feel like
I don't think there's any pressure on us at this rate.
I don't know. I think there's still pressure because we're still close to Hibs, who are in third. So we need to start winning games to get that gap further. Because it's a fight for second at the moment, which is worrying. But it's just the players in the hotel thing. I feel so sorry for them because you think these guys are getting promised big contracts at Celtic, like a Yeti comes over and then gets.
I think it's a shambles. Like the club should look at themselves and say, "Look, like weren't the four?
I'll play FIFA with them.
Four out of the 18s. Then do this to these lads, and you know, like it's just a disgrace. Like I don't blame them for being not motivated, and like this is the biggest season. Was the biggest season in the club history. I know still a lot of people still have that belief that we could turn it around. I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, but it's not going to happen. It really isn't going to happen. Unless, like, we go on a winning run, they drop to a couple of more points, and we go in, we beat them at Celtic Park. That's it. We could have a game on, but that's the chances that, like...
Maybe just put it in there. We need them to drop literally 3 games, pretty much. 4 games max.
Yeah.
Which I don't see happening, I'm sorry.
Well, the positive thing is for Celtic fans that are watching, they have to play their Europa League game, so the pressure could be on there with that.
Well, you won't see on news. They might not be able to play the Europa League game because of lockdown.
Yeah.
And Nicola Sturgeon said that she might not be allowing them to travel because of what we done in Dubai.
So, don't know.
We'll wait and see what happens with them in the Europa League.
No, there'll be a way around that with UEFA. They'll have to do something. As far as I know, I think it's with Liverpool as well. Liverpool are not going to let go to Germany. As you've seen the news today of Jurgen Klopp, man passing away a few days ago, and he's obviously grieving, and he can't even go over and bury his own mother. Like, that's absolutely heartbreaking.
Oh mate, listen, I think it was you that shared that.
Yeah.
He's a manager that I've always loved. Seen him at Celtic Park. I think he's great tactical minded, but to have that and not be able to travel for just a fucking shame, man.
Yeah,
Right.
it's really bad for me. Just condolences to him for his loss. But because he is a legend in the game for Borussia Dortmund and Liverpool, so for him not to go over and see his, for him not to go over to service to his mum, it is heartbreaking, man. I do feel for him,
100%, definitely, because at the end of the day, I know loads of people haven't said goodbye to the loved ones during the pandemic, but I think with Jurgen, especially with my dad watching Liverpool all the time, he said it to me a few times. He's like, "What's up with Klopp this season? He's just not himself." And I was like, "There's something up with him. It's either he's not getting the backing from the board, or either he's just fed up with it." But it obviously makes sense now. His mum was obviously really sick for a long time, and he just held it together. But we're going to talk about Celtic because it is a Celtic channel. We're not here to talk about Liverpool. David Turnbull, outstanding tonight. His goal was really good.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say he took his goal real well, and he has been a consistent performer for us. So the future can only look bright for the young lads. I think that he's going to be at Celtic for a while. To be honest, I think
that's the
he
thing.
could be.
That's about to say to you. The more he does, the more he keeps doing this and doing this. Like you'd be afraid that someone will come in for him. Not in the summer, in January. I think they'll let him settle and let him get his stats up, and then you'll get the so-called hitters in England that might go in for him. Now, I know we obviously have him on a long-term contract and stuff like that, but he has potential, and he's done better than the likes of Stuart Armstrong when Stuart Armstrong came in.
Yeah, I would say Stuart Armstrong. He was a good player, but he wasn't consistent as Turnbull was. I mean, Turnbull can offer you pace. He can offer you to stretch out opposition defences, and you see tonight he can offer you some really good goals. I mean, before he got that goal, he tried about 2 shots that are both in target and they nearly went in. So it's as if he was placing a marker for the second shot, and I just think he's really good.
I have to say, fair play to St Mirren. They kept the pitch well. I was very surprised when I seen that pitch tonight. I was like, what's taking that, Connor?
Listen, they done well with the pitch. Fair play to them. I have found out before I came on here that they do have under pitch heating, which is a bonus, which will help with the pitch. Their groundsmen were there from 6 o'clock this morning.
Fair play to them.
The pitch was perfect. They wanted the game to go ahead because obviously it's a rescheduled match. They don't want to reschedule it again. So well done to the groundsmen for being there for 6 this morning, make sure that pitch was clear. Although the weather here in Paisley, it's been sunny all day as well. Like it's been cold, but it's been.
You sound like a pilot talking about the weather.
It's like the weather would have helped. Having the sun would have helped make sure that pitch was all right. And I know Stephen done well tonight as well with Turnbull. If we can hold on to that lad, we should be building a team around him. We should be building a team.
100%. We should be building the team around him and Sorrow. Obviously, Sorrow had the car crash yesterday. I know he was obviously in the squad, but it was weird to see Patrick Clement actually getting a nod.
Listen, I've always rated Polish Paddy. Polish Paddy for day one. I've always felt like he could do something, and he's not getting the chance, which is a shame because he does have potential. But in January, I'd have sent him out on loan. We've got 3 strikers who know what they're doing. We've got Griff, Edward, and when it comes to it, he does. When he had the chances, he does do what he needs to get done. I'd have sent Polish Paddy out on loan for a season or 6 months just to get some game time behind him, some quality, sent to the Championship, Send him to somebody in England or Spain or something like that. Send him to a smaller club and let him get the game time to somebody that needs a striker. Because I think he has potential to be a top great at Celtic. So we're going to lose Edward in the summer. Griff is getting too old. Ayeti, will he stay? We don't know. Kamala could be our
Yeah, he will. I think a lot of people are looking into this whole Yeti wasting money bollocks. Like, I think a Yeti's actually going to be grand. You know, just needs to settle. As I said, if you're stuck in a hotel, you need to kind of get you. This is what the likes of.
That's what I'm saying. You've got three strikers there. Kamala could be out getting the game time for somebody like Dundee, Motherwell, Sunderland, Newcastle. Like, see somebody like in a Championship or lower half of the English Premier League. Send him out on loan for a season, let him run his legs, let him find his feet, and then bring him back and see what happens.
That's it. He has a good potential to do well. Yeah, I really do. If he's watching this on YouTube, if he's can subscribe to the channel, same with Twitter as well. If he's watching on Twitter, I have it on Twitch as well. I haven't really got anyone from Twitch yet because it's only a platform that we use as a reserve. Because Facebook at the moment, we're currently off Facebook. It's StreamYard has me off Facebook until Saturday. I'll be back on Saturday. Facebook, so the numbers will increase. We'll have a good few teams coming in and giving controversial stuff. Polish Paddy, he does have. Yeah, we obviously seen the goals he scored against St. Johnstone and stuff. He has potential and strength there. Maybe on loan, like this is the chance. This is the thing. What we're going to be looking at. Edward goes in the summer. You're gonna have Boyle. You're gonna have. Yeah, you're going to have Griff. Griff has 1 year left. And you're going to have Polish Paddy. So we're going to have options there. We're going to have to obviously clear out the filter. Boyo, I haven't really looked at Boyo's stats since he went to Toulouse. I know he obviously scored 2 goals in his debut. He got beaten, as far as I know, he got beaten 5-3 in the debut. But if he's banging them in second division in France and he's doing well, he comes back with like plus 16, 17 goals for the season. There is a chance that you could put him back into the squad. It depends on the manager, the shape of the team as well. Because Boyle has potential. It's just he hasn't had a chance with Edward. Like last season, Edward was flying for him. How could you take Edward out of that squad?
Oh, you couldn't. And then you brought Griffin, and the two of them were playing with each other. So I've just googled Biles this season. He said 12 games he's not scored yet after they 2 goals.
Oh Jesus. Oh, well, we won't be talking about Boyo, so I know. I want to talk about Marian Cheved. Now, Cheved came out and said the other day to one of the Belgian press that he's looking to get the move away from Celtic Premier League. When they asked him about Celtic, he said he didn't want to talk about it. He basically saying that he had the chance to go to Genk before he signed for Celtic. Now, Marian Cheved, a lot of talent. We've seen what he done in the Ukrainian League. He was highly rated in the Ukrainian League. So, Liam, what would you do with Cheved?
I would just sell him.
He doesn't want to.
I would just sell him, just take whatever price you can get from him because it's obvious he doesn't want to be for Celtics. That's my opinion. See if you don't want to be at Celtic, get to. You know what I mean? Like, that's always been my opinion, man. I mean, if it's players that don't want to be at a club, then they can get to because I don't want them there. I want people playing for the Hoops and want to be proud to put the green and white on.
That's it. I 100% agree. Connor, what do you think with Cheved?
Cheved, I've got another one on my list I want to bring up, please. Cheved, listen, if he's enjoying it, let him go. There's no point bringing somebody back if they're not happy. Let him go, and if he's getting the game time, on you go. I want players at Celtic that want to play for me, for the fans, that play for the shirt, not just somebody there that won a wage. That's not Celtic. Celtic have never been like that. So at the end of the day, if he wants to go, let him go. Just offer them, say to them, $750,000. That's it. Just let him go. Buy him at his contract. Bye-bye.
Right. Red Scotland was asking. Red does be always on the Celtic state of mind. Red, thanks very much for watching. Does anyone know if Boyo is actually a good player or not? What is his attributes? But he scored 2 nice goals against Hearts the time when he actually started. Then he scored against Partick Thistle in the League Cup. He hasn't really got many chances, to be honest. I think he's only played like 18 games for the club. He's tender at Celtic. His stats in the Slovakian League. Was it Slovakian or Slovenian? It was the Slovakian League, as far as I remember. No, Slovenian League. I think it was the Slovenian League. It's either one of them anyway. He had 23 goals in 34 games. So that's
Slovakian league, yeah.
Slovakian League. Yeah. So he does have potential. It's just I don't know if he's going to suit the man and just play whoever comes in. So see what happens if he comes back. We still have Hendry to come back as well. It's about next season's about the youth. Next season's really about the youth and putting investment into that squad as well. But at the same time, it feels like there's going to be a lot of pressure on this youth team if there's a cleared out, like Brown's contract's up in the summer. So is Scott Brown going to be given a capacity at the club? Are we going to put the guns in Callum McGregor to do it? As I said in this podcast, and I'll say it again, we give Oyer another contract. Give him the big bucks, and then we'll sell him for big bucks.
Yeah, I think that you were saying about Callum McGregor, he played brilliant tonight. I know that's the first time I've seen him play.
Very underrated. I thought he was very underrated tonight. He done the shift. He done the shift, and he got, like, obviously Christie came on. I just have mixed feelings about Christie this season. I really do.
Well, he done all right when he came on, Christie. I think it's just a case of it was a confidence problem with him for a while. Something was going on behind the scenes because, like, the team's starting to gel. They're starting to play good again. They're starting to attack the ball. There's more urgency about them, if you will. So whatever was there, it's gone now. You know what I mean? If we can get another couple of wins, then I'm thinking, hey, I mean, we might not win the league, but we've got nothing to lose, so there's nothing to. So we should put enough pressure on them just to show that we're still in the hunt. You know.
I still can't believe we're in February 2021, more than halfway through the season, that we're talking about we're not going for the league after all of us getting hyped up at the start of the season saying we can do it. I was convinced we could win the league by 18 points at the start of the season.
Yeah, I was kind of convinced of that as well. I thought when there'd been 18-point margin, I thought probably about 6 to 8 points, but it just shows you that anything can happen, you know, like in the middle of the season. I mean, we find ourselves in a kind of rut just now, but it's a rut we're slowly getting out of, I think.
That's it. That's all. Lennon just needs to come out and say, look, play what you can to the best capacity. Just take every win as it comes. Play for a win, which you should have been saying. Say, look, the pressure's off you now. Obviously, the pressure got to this team. Like, you got to think about it. We bring 6 players in over the window. We were all hyped about these players when they came in. We're expecting this is a good challenge. We've invested well in the squad, and then it didn't work out. Look at Barkas. Will Barkas see a Celtic short again? You know, that's the thing. Like, you know, I think Barkas is under a lot of pressure for a keeper. That's the value. I just think a lot of fans are quick enough to criticise when there's a high value on it.
Well, I mean, when you look at Scott Bain, there's no pressure on him. He's always been like second choice keeper for Celtic, and this is probably the first time he's had a run of games that he's like first choice keeper. But there is a lot of pressure in Barkas, and he's got to work his arse off at training if he wants to get first choice keeper again. But to be honest, there was somebody, like, it was saying over social media the other day that no keepers like proved herself, and I'm thinking, well, Scott Bain has. You know, like, he's done some really good saves.
Yeah, Scott Bain has proved himself in previous seasons. This season, I just think because it's around the whole team that we've had this in and out business with keepers and the defence with St. We just haven't had a solid back four. And in this, obviously, these three winning games, Connor, we've have a back four. Taylor's doing well. Welch is doing well.
Yep.
Ayer's doing class. Like, you're seeing Ayer control that defence more. And I hope when Julian's fit, it's not going to affect Welsh as much. I hope that they still keep playing Welsh. Just giving them, say, the odd break and bring Julian back gradually. John Joe Kenny's been playing great. Now, I want to talk on one thing that every Celtic fan forgot. We have one defender that everyone forgets about. Andrew Gutman.
Oh,
And Manny, was it not? I was going to say Manny Perez. He's a UFC fighter.
Andrew Gutman who signed for his
Perez, the two American boys, like they haven't played much as well. Like they're obviously being over in MLS, playing college football as well. But why did we sign these guys and we don't see them?
well, the boy Gutman's currently on loan, and he's played it 29 times this season or last season, sorry. So could we see this boy coming in as a decent defender as well?
Well, the MLS starts in March. It does, so it could be another deal. As far as I know, one of them is still waiting for a work permit. That's the reason why one of them hasn't played for Celtic.
Okay, I don't. That's not. Who is that for, boy?
Perez.
Perez. He's still waiting his work permit, which I don't know what's going on there. Don't know if it's to do with Brexit. Like nobody knows anything. But
I'm gonna go back to the game, right? Regards to the game, the 3 goals went in 3 minutes. I'm just like, Jesus, 3 goals in 3 minutes. Like, where's this coming from? Where's this coming from? Like, why can we not do this all season?
my pal put a status on Facebook. He went out for a fag at 1-0. Now he literally shut the door and came back, and it was 4-0. Literally, by the time he smoked a cigarette, it was 4-0, and I was like, wow.
And it wasn't a case that like St. Mirren's defence was blundered. It was just good football we played with the 3 goals. Like Christie's goal as well.
yeah, I think that it's due to the high pressing. Like our high pressing's been brilliant, and like we're playing with a bit of swagger as well. So, obviously, when we get in front of goal, when we get a counter attack against these teams with high pressing, we're definitely going to capitalise on it.
100%. I want to talk to you about the director of football as well. Like a lot of people are saying that we need a director of football in. Now there's a lad that's being linked, Fergal Harkin. So the Donegal lads.
Okay.
I don't really know much about him, to be honest, but
He's done routes at Man City.
Aye.
He's done a job at Man City. So hopefully we can get this lad in. We need a director of football. We need a fresh start with all this, especially looking at the best inside and outside of that pitch, like the team that we need to put out. Because, as I said, the summer is going to be worrying. We don't know who. We don't have clarity who our captain's going to be. If it's going to be Cal, if Bruni's staying on, a lot of fans want Bruni to move on. But like if he gets a good stretch of games towards the end of the season, you'd be kind of feeling guilty about it.
I think Bruni's going to stay on 1 year. I think they'll give him a year extension and he'll retire. But the reason he'll get there is so he can retire with fans there. He won't want it go.
Makes sense.
An empty stadium. He won't. I know Bruni. He feeds off the fans. He loves the fans' energy. You can see that week in, week out. He did always before COVID, obviously. Always up celebrating. You see him when it was like against them. Always wound them up. Like Bruni just feeds off fans in general. So I don't think he'd leave without. He'd want to say a proper goodbye. And I feel like people like Dembele didn't get to do that. KT didn't get to do that. Armstrong didn't get to give a proper goodbye. Stuff like that. So he's seen the backlash of that, I think, and how it's affected him mentally, not giving the goodbye. Because if you've watched the KT one with Cy Ferry, you see him. He's like, I'd love to say bye to all the fans and stuff, but it was kind of one of the things. It was a last minute thing. I had to jump on a plane down to Arsenal, and that was it. So I think Bruni will stay on a year till we can get some sort of fans back, and then it'll be he'll leave next season, and that's it. That'll be the end of Scott Brown for us. He'll go to Australia for a year and then retire like Scott McDonald done.
No, I think he's staying in Scotland. I just don't think, as he said, he was offered the Australian, obviously the Australian club role at the time. A team in Melbourne offered him a job, and he turned around and he said, the reason it wasn't for me because of the heat. Because the heat. I didn't think it would have been too hot to play football.
Did you see the pictures of training yesterday? It was snowing. He's kicking.
I didn't.
T-shirt.
That's Scott Brown. Scott Brown. There's a picture of him in Zenit, and it was minus 12 in Zenit, and he's gone around in a t-shirt. Doesn't care.
Yeah.
Because
he's only ever wore. Go ahead, Liam.
No, he'll run. He'll run for like before training. He'll run for a couple of mile or a mile and a half just to get himself warm. So that's probably why after training he's had a good session. He's just walking about with a t-shirt on because he's just like worked himself that much up in training. I mean, you see him before games, he works his ass off in training. So I mean, he just takes care of himself. That's why he's a good footballer.
I'm confused.
I'd like to see him come back. I'd like to see him come back for a year because as much as I just think we'd have another, I still think he's quite fit for his age. Still quite fit for it. We can't play him every game. That's the thing, though. Can't play him every single game. Play him maybe 3 or 4 games, maybe. You know, it's all about developing of Sorrow as well. Sorrow needs to play. Sorrow has a lot of potential, and Sorrow could still learn a lot from him. I know Sorrow's been in the door a year, and we've only started to see spells of Sorrow in recent times. But I keep Bruni on. I just think the wealth of experience there, we need that, especially going into a transitional period of Celtic, because, as I said, there's not many leaders in that team. And if they lose Scott Brown and we've Callum McGregor, which is so-called a leader, which I don't think he hasn't turned up the majority of the time. Some games, yes, but if we lose Oyer and Brown, who are we left with? Who are we actually left with?
Julian. Give Julian the armband.
Julian's injured. He's just injury prone.
This season he has been, yes. But I've seen him in games. I've seen him against Lazio. I've seen him against. He does take charge of that defence.
I think Julian's probably losing the hunger, like majority of them French boys have.
Think about
to stay at Celtic.
We've lost one. Have you not seen it in Cham's Instagram? He unfollowed everyone at Celtic apart from French Eddie, Julian, Karamoko, and Moussa Dembele, and Scott Bain. Scott Bain was in that list. That is all he follows now from a full Celtic squad. There's something that happens behind the scenes that we don't know. Like
he hasn't been happy.
The French guys alone, I think they have their own wee group. I think they don't interact with the team as much.
Is that down to, as a few podcasts say, is it down to the culture? Is it down to a case that they're not? You have the Scottish boys staying together with the Irish lads, and then you got the Frenchies in the corner. You know, we want a team that's gelling, and then we got these players that are in a hotel that are not happy. You know, that's all this shit is going on in the background. These are the faults that we haven't performed on the pitch, and that's why we've blown 10. And then we got a manager that's convinced that when the team gets it wrong, he still has it right.
Listen, Lennon,
he can't admit when he's wrong.
Lennon's deluded. That's the only word you can say for Lennon. Listen, I respected him as a player. I respected him when he was first, and I respected him when he came in. He should not have been charged this season. He should have been given the job as a 1.5 year basis till we had money to put behind a decent manager this season. And what I'd say to Lennon is, you drop down to the assistant manager if the new manager wants you.
I think someone needs to.
It would have been like, listen, I want Lennon there to help me with the team. He knows the club, he knows the team inside and out.
Liam, what do you think about the situation with Lennon? I think Lennon needs to look back at the whole, in about 2 or 3 years' time, back at the interviews he's done after these games and realise how much of it he looked.
I do agree, but I heard something today that Neil Lennon recently has been visiting the players at the house.
That's correct, yeah.
And all that. So that's really good because at least he's actually socialising with them in a way. Maybe talking to them outside the house and that, you know. But just for a few minutes chat, it can do wonders for somebody's positivity.
But do you think it's the case that the club are making them because they realise that Jeremy's gone, Alhamid's gone, the Cham's gone? Maybe them realising, like, maybe, Jesus, Neil, maybe you need to spend a bit of time with these people and realise if you want these to play with you, play for you, you're going to have to build a relationship. And maybe this is just a little stunt for the club to build a relationship with these so-called players so we can have a potential of getting them in, getting Lenny in after this, which we don't want. You know, we don't know what's going on.
No, I think that they're keeping Lenny on to the end of the season. That's what I think's happening, regardless. And I don't think they're going
to happen.
Once they find out who a potential manager that's got better ability and better.
There's a lot of better managers out there.
Better experience.
Manager Celtic better than Lennon.
You've just got pick the correct manager, who's going to put arses in the seats? Because there'll be a lot of people giving up their season tickets as we speak, because the renewal's in about 3 months. So, will
April now.
People renew? So, like, they've got to have a manager to put arses in the seats.
The season ticket books.
They're ready. Becca,
See,
if Lennon stays manager, you're renewing your season ticket? She said aye, maybe. that wasn't my best example there.
The season ticket books, there's 57,000 season tickets that were sold last season, even though it was a pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to lose, say, 20,000 of that cuts down the revenue coming in. It cuts down going out and trying to get good players. It cuts down attracting a manager, because you're not going to get a full stadium if we're back to normal in the next 6 months or something. 7 months, whenever the next season is, they're gonna have to kick off the season like the way it's meant to be, because we have obviously the World Cup the following year. Yep. So there's going to be none of this Yeah, exactly. The Euros as well. So, and then we were going to be in the mix of European qualifiers, and the Scottish boys will be looking for a rest as well. You never know. Scotland might do well and get past the group. And then the boys.
I want one thing. I don't care if we don't qualify. I just want to see us beat English. I will be happy. We can lose.
Yeah, that'd be brilliant, man. That'd be brilliant.
Beat English, I'll be happy, because listen, there's nothing more than you think. We've just done it in rugby at Twickenham. We've not won there in 36 years.
35 years.
36 years. Why can't we do it at Wembley? Why can't we go down during the Euros and win?
I put up a picture the other day of the rugby goals in Celtic Park. Oh my God, the Ryan Christie conversions. But you know what? He must have seen that post and said, "Geez, I want to get me shit again and actually score properly."
He's seen that on everyone's face. Think, fuck. All right, I'm not a rugby player. I'm a football player. It's time to score goals.
That's it. Fair play to him. Appreciate the comments. The 3 best Celtic channels on YouTube: Come On The Hoops, Irish Mick, and Celtic State of Mind. Look, there's a lot of good channels out there. Obviously, you have Celtic Fan TV. You've got Ryan as well. Ryan does a good job. Irish Mick does his own way. I'd say with Irish Mick, he does his long-term podcast, so he could stay on for 2 or 3 hours and have a chat. Fair play to him. I don't know about that. I don't know how he could do. Don't know how he could do 3 hours on. The only time I do 3 hours when I have a few cans of Guinness down me when I'm doing my Friday Night Fever with that type of music. That's the only time. But yeah, we'll have to see. Once we, as I said, we have a surprise for people. Once we get the 5K, I'm gonna announce something for mental health as well. As Liam talked about the mental health stage of players, I want to help do something mental health for the fans of Celtic, a portion of fans, whatever we can do to give the money back. If it's been a tough time for people.
I want to talk one before we change about season tickets. So this year, obviously, we've got the Path to Paradise, which has been utter poor. What we've had is a cheap version of Celtic TV that only works 92% of the time. There's an 8% chance that you won't get in till half time, and it's a joke. And for the price that you're paying for the quality, it's just season tickets. I think we're going to drop down to about 30,000, 20,000.
A lot of people are just going to be
banners. We're going to see the banners.
I've seen people put up on their Instagram stories of them actually watching it on the tablet from someone streaming off a phone.
Yep.
I know it's a cheap option, but people don't want to pay 500 or 600 quid for a streaming service. Sorry, but it's not worth it. It really isn't worth it. What's the point of hearing Jerry McCulloch or Tom Boyd talking on a home game? Holy fuck! It's the worst commentary I've ever I can deal with. It's so Celtic. I know it's a Celtic channel, but it's so biased against other opposition. If you're going to be a commentator, you have to give some sort of respect.
What I think that they should have done, right? See how you had Celtic TV years ago, on Sky, right? Instead of just showing the home games, instead of just showing the games we play, how about show classic games? How about have shows, content?
tribute
like,
to the Invincible season, stuff like that. The
Yeah,
DVDs
yeah.
they bring out.
Like we're in a technology now where that stuff is easy to pull. You could just pull the classic games. They were doing it. They were doing it before the season. They were pulling all the classic games, throwback games on the weekends. Just put on Celtic TV. I think they realistically be looking to give fans that don't have season books a €10 subscription or something, or £10 subscription to get people interested, because whatever money they make off it, put it into the PR side of it or into the social media side of it. Because what I find is they don't update all the social media at one time. They'll put something up straight away on Twitter, and then it goes on to Instagram a few minutes later, and then it goes on. Like, have it all ready in one go. That's just slow communication. Fans are eager. They want to know what the crack is.
Yeah, of course they do. I mean, I'd like to say cheers to Red Scotland for his good comments regarding our channel. Obviously, I do listen to Celtic State of Mind as well. That's a really good podcast.
The best channel. I love listening to it. 12:30 every day. I'll put it on, regardless of what I'm doing. I'll put it on. I listen to Paul and his team. He has it down. I don't know how they can do. I don't know how they can do a daily. There's always a different agenda. They always have stuff to talk about, and I love it. Fair play. But regards to Celtic TV, like if they turn around and said, right, because remember, it was the last season they showed Larson's last game on BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they made a big hype about it. Like, stuff like that would sell to Celtic fans. Like, people would buy into that. Like,
the BBC always show like Jinky, a tribute to Jinky Johnson, Jock Steen, the Lisbon Lions, and even the other side of Glasgow. Like, why can the TVs not do that? Like, why can we not have the way Celtic TV was back in the day with Sky, where they had a 24-hour running service showing classic games, having it down where they do like a podcast type of thing, talking to players, getting to know players. Like, it was just a different world that they live in.
That's it. Like even get one player a week to come on and do a Q&A for an hour or so. Like, that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. Like, you just get questions sent into them over the week, and then they pre-record and put it up. Like, stuff like that would help the fans a lot, especially through these dark times. I don't think, as I said before to you on this, I think there should be a loyalty system brought in with Celtic. So if you get a season book, £500, you should get 25% off the home kit straight away, 20% off the away kit. At Christmas time, if you have so many, if you're a family of four that have season books, you give a portion off to the kids as well for Christmas, for clothing. It sells. It's stuff that brings into that fans will buy into. Because to be honest with you, I'm looking at the Celtic website. I was looking at it today, and they made a shambles. They said that the home jersey is gone down to whatever it is, £45, £40 or £45. I clicked into the website on my phone, and it's still up at €78. I was like, what the fuck? You know? Like,
it's just not ideal at all.
I don't know. It's a running disaster at the moment, and stuff like that. The small things like if you put up a sale on, say, Sky Broadband or Virgin Media or Talk, you put up a sale.
Updated before you even put the advert up.
You have flies and shit coming at it for sales. And imagine like oh, sorry, I can see that on the website. It's actually not up properly. I do apologize about it.
I see like a comment from Ian McIntosh saying that I watch on the tablet, can't get near a telly, wife and kids own the fucking thing. I've got a wife myself, so I feel your pain, Ian. I'm always setting up the stair when I'm watching the football, you know.
take ownership of the TV. That's it, Ian. And you just tell them, say, look, I pay the bills here. That's my shiny TV. I need that TV for 90 minutes of my life. 90 minutes once a week, maybe twice a week. That's it. You take ownership. That's it. If he wants to take ownership of being the CEO as well, you're more welcome to. They can sell off.
All I'm saying is I feel the guy's pain, man. I mean, it's not ideal.
But wouldn't it be deadly? Like, wouldn't it be deadly to like renew your season ticket and say, Jesus Christ, I'm buzzing for the new kid to come out. I'm getting it cheaper than most of these folk are. Would it be just a good little incentive, like even 10% or something off? I hate this shite where they like if you pre-book the home kit, you get this little Giphy bag. I'm like, no, who cares about the Giphy bag? Give the and if season ticket holders renew their obviously the books with the home kit, they should automatically get free print. Stuff like that would sell.
Yeah, maybe give them like a kind of vintage Lisbon Lions type T-shirt that has the design of the strip or something like that. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe like a couple of DVDs with your home kit. I mean,
Do you not remember back in the day, boys, when you order a kit, you'd get a towel?
yeah.
That wasn't my dad's incentive. He always got.
They stopped doing the towel in 2010. Nike was doing it for a while, and then it was gone.
Mate, I had all the towels. I had every towel they brought out, and I was like, where's my towel? They're like, yeah, we don't do it anymore. I was like, okay, I'm not buying a kit then. The towel was the best part. Going abroad, putting your Celtic towel down, winding the English up, winding the Rangers fans up, you're sitting there like that. 10-year-old just like that.
That's it. But you know what? Considering the pandemic, imagine being a Celtic fan going away to like Santa Ponza or Lanzarote and going through this crap we went through in November and December, sitting in the booze with other supporters. We're kind of blessed that we didn't have that this season.
Yeah, it'd be miserable, I mean.
But I've got a feeling if we had fans there, I don't think it'd have been down the same way it has this season.
But that's what's going to be the talking point for years if we didn't have fans. But you know what? I'll swallow and get on with it and be dignity and say, you know what? We didn't have our fans. We were shy, and that's it. We got to move on from what we've done. The what if question could never be answered.
So what if we never let Lennon take over?
To be honest with you, when the ball was kicked off at the start of the season, I think a lot of people didn't have this anti-Lennon thing. I think they were looking at saying, right, we just need to get this over the line, just win as we usually do, bring in a few signings. We're all a bit aggro about Fraser Foster not coming in. And then I think when as soon as Neil Lennon put himself out after Ferencváros saying that 6 players wanted to leave the club, I was like, Jesus, this is a big step in the shit here. What's going to happen next? And then Bolingoli, then Ross County, then getting beaten by Rangers twice, and then Dubai, and then obviously Lawwell stepping down, and then Duffy not settling, then Barkas not settling. It's literally, you could write a book on it. You could write a book on how bad it's been.
Oh, mate, the season's been terrible this year, and there's a lot of things that I would change. But listen, we need to move on. Next season's the main thing now to look forward to.
Well, I know we keep saying next season is, and I said at the start, like I said, we all just want next season to come, but we have to learn. We have to kind of gain from what we have left. What I mean is we need to give the experience to Welch. We need to give the experience to Turnbull to get him fully 90 minutes, get him fully ready. We need to really get this Lee Griffiths fella together, because if he's not fully fit by the end of the season, by the last 3 or 4 games, I'll tell him to ship off, because that's not good enough. I would, and look, he's had over 251 games for Celtic. Well, congratulations, he's got over 120 goals, whatever. But maybe it's time Lee needs to move on. And I hate this stuff when we keep saying, oh, he wants to play with a shirt. But if he wants to play with a shirt, he'd be fully fit, match fit.
Yeah, there's only so many yards your legs can take you. I mean,
he's not 36 like Scott Brown. Scott Brown can still need to do a full 90 minutes. Like that's embarrassing for Lee Griffiths. This is a lad that should be pushing for the Scotland squad. Do you know what I said to Lee Griffiths' sister-in-law the other night? I goes, the reason why I think Lee is actually going to get picked in that squad because he don't really have many strikers at the moment. McBurney's not really foreign goals in. Lyndon Dykes is still settling to the championship, even though he played well. Honestly, there's not much potential for the Scottish strikers, and Lee's going to get picked because he's top dog of Celtic. Now he can't. Obviously, he can cause threats. He's the capability of being a quality player. But I'm sorry, I'm not going to take someone to the Euros that's not fully fit. Regardless, you can stick him on for 10 minutes or not. We want someone that can. What if Scotland go into extra time? You stick him on then.
Well, look what they done against England. They brought him on He didn't start the England game. They brought him on at 70 minutes, and then he scored the 2 free kicks.
I just don't know.
For Scotland, he's not a starting 11. He's a wonder sub.
We need to find out what the story is with him, because I'm getting to the stage where you can't keep doing this shit every 2 or 3 years. Like, as much mental health is important.
There's always one issue with him. It was like the whole. Do you remember the debacle with him? I'm going to say Ross County, but it could have been Inverness with the tea cake, and that was caught on camera. Him scanning a tea cake when he just came out when he's a sub. Like, that shit shouldn't be.
That was St. Mirren. That was actually St. Mirren.
Was it? Okay,
it was a Friday night against St. Mirren's. James Forrest scored a belter for us.
But I know it's like Lee Griffiths has always some sort of excuse. And I always remember when he first came to Celtic, he'd done something that really ticked a lot of Celtic fans off.
He sang that song about it.
Yes. I wasn't going to mention what it was, but yes. And I remember the banner that was held up. I was there. I was sat, held the banner up. But it's just a joke. Like, he's now getting to the point where I adore Lee Griffiths and I adore what he does for the club. But it's time for him to either go to Hibs or move on.
I think his time needs to move on. I think he's got over 100 goals for us. He's after winning news around the titles he scored. He had some memories. I appreciate all that, but the time is you can't have someone in your workplace that's hot and cold all the time. Especially in seasons like this where he could have been playing. He could have made a difference. He could have been match fit. Like, it might come out in the future that Neil Lennon was just being anti-boys to him. You know, that could be the real story behind it.
No, there's something else behind Lee Griffiths.
We're in February and you're still not match fit. That's absolutely shambolic.
That's because he's eating takeaway still and chilling on TikTok.
I honestly don't know what he's doing. I mean, but if he doesn't buck up his ideas, then obviously, unfortunately, they will move him to Hibs maybe, or maybe a championship team. I honestly don't know.
Well, you know what? At the start, if you said this, January 2020, I said on my YouTube, I said, you know what? I think he should go. I think he should go to Hibs on loan to get more out of him, get the best potential out of him. But you know what? I saw my words back, because what happened? He came back in the fold with Edward, paired up with Edward, and the last
3 months.
The last goals that we scored in 9 in a row was Lee Griffiths.
Yeah, I got to admit, he was a really good player for the club, and he has scored some brilliant goals with us, both domestically and European. But if somebody's not being consistent and not consistently fit, then they do have to go. Yeah. There's no two ways about it. I mean, you're playing for Celtic.
I'll be honest with you. I don't think he's done enough in Europe for Celtic. I don't think he's done enough. I know he scored against Astrana away and stuff like that. I don't think he's done enough in European standards for Celtic. A few free kicks in qualifiers, that's about it. And the goal against Bishev was a belter, and then obviously that free kick against Cardew last season, but not enough European standards. And I know he wasn't as a marquee signing. He came from Wolves. He done well at Hibs, and yes, he turned up domestically. There was a season when he scored 40 goals for Celtic.
Yeah, his first season, his first full season, he done amazing. But I don't know. There's just something about Lee Griffith that I think he's got his foot that much in now. If he can kind of relax more now. Is it a John Kennedy kind of approach to it? Yeah, I think that's what it is. He's foot in Celtic now. He's like, yes, I've been here. I'm one of the longest serving players. I'm one of the oldest players. I can do what I want.
But you know what? The thing is, when we look at AC Milan, it was AC Milan, or it was a Sparta Prague when he came on, he scored, and he was like, come on. Like Sparta Prague, he came on and he made a difference. As I said, it's not a consistent trend with him. And this is a lad that's collecting good salary, get contract renewals every
year.
It should be something down, that way. Like, and I don't want to say he's let us down this season. I just think in general, I think it's time he needs to move on. I think he's one of them players. People second thoughts when I say, do you know what, Keith? Edward goes, this might be the man we can actually start. But like, how are we going to trust this lad? How can we trust this lad if he can't get match fit from July to now?
exactly.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. You see, as a professional footballer, you've got to look after yourself and you've got to make sure you're fit and ready for every game. And anybody that's not doing that for Celtic, then obviously the fans are going to question them on it. They're going to pull them up on it. So, I mean, a lot of people at the club, they'll be looking at social media. They'll obviously be looking at videos of us speaking the now.
Yeah,
And
but you'll find there's somebody watching the now.
Yeah.
Or if not the now, later on tomorrow, sitting down from the Celtic PR team, watching this and watching other ones. What's getting
I hope they are, because you could listen to that loyalty scheme. That'd be a great idea, 20%.
If you take it, remember, send it to, all discounts go to Connor first.
Not me.
No. I'm going to need to boost because I've got a COD tournament to go and do, but I want to leave it on one thing for you to think about. So in England, they're talking about removing betting sponsors. What would you do for the full season, seeing the Celtic Foundation for one season in the kit and letting the fans buy it? I would wear it. I'd happily wear a Celtic Foundation kit. Like it's the same kit,
it's for a good cause.
Because I feel like when we go abroad in Europe, the Celtic Foundation logo looks so much better on our kits.
Well, I'll tell you what, how about we just put two foundations? How about we put the Celtic Foundation and the Kano Foundation on it?
Kano at the back. Get rid of that. Get rid of that, a bit of Magners in the front.
Yeah, but
at the back.
it's all about ching ching though. That's just where we make money off these beer.
Give Celtic fans the option, because I normally, believe it or not, I know that this one's got the sponsorship, but every year I normally go for no sponsors.
So what about the Dafa Best Stadium, eh?
No. Bye.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, right? See, the only time I never got a sponsor in the kit is because they had Magners in the front, right? That was the only time I never got a sponsor because I hate Magners, so I'd be a hypocrite if I was wearing a tap that said Magners on it.
Yeah. No, I think I remember the pin hoops with the Magners, and I was a bit I ended up buying it. But I think the Magners looks actually alright in it. Like I thought when we first got tenants, I was just like, this doesn't look right because I'm used to Carlin, you know. We used to peel the Carlin off majority of the time.
Just before I go, we are getting told that Stephen Welsh's injury will be assessed tomorrow. His foot is in a boot as a precaution.
That's not bad. I hope he's alright.
But I'd like to see us do like a kit for fans to buy to be the Celtic Foundation, because they wear them out abroad. You see them in European nights. Why can't the fans buy that? And all the money then goes to the Celtic Foundation.
Yeah, it's been a good idea.
Sell them for maybe half the price of what these tops are. Same kit, but just have that and see if it's a fit.
I don't think it's gonna happen the next couple of years with finances and losing out on fans and stuff like that. I can't see it happening. I really can't see it happening.
I could see shit sales going up. I could see a lot of people buying it for their kids, because you think you don't want your kid running about with alphabet, but wearing a Celtic Foundation.
Because they're not allowed to wear the alphabets anyway. Not allowed to wear
like. And now they're off. But it's I don't know.
Beers and gambling is not allowed on jerseys anyway for kids.
Yeah, I have seen that in the Celtic shops for the past 3 years, because I used to get Wayne's years ago, like I don't know, wearing like tenants poses in that Carlin, aye. So
if you see someone who has kids with like the alphabet in the jersey, be like, Jesus, they got that off they got that in Turkey, or they got that on DHgate, or they got that on AliExpress or something, because eBay, you know, it's the logos. You're not allowed the logos on it.
Aye, the Turkey strips are terrible, man. Absolutely terrible.
Never bought fake out of Celtic. Other teams, yes. But guys, look, I'm going to head to a tournament to go play in.
I remember one year.
Having me back.
No problem. Me and Liam believe in 5 minutes anyway. So there was a story. Basically, 2006 was the World Cup. It was actually the World Cup final. Italy and France. I mean, mum and dad came back from Turkey. I mean, my dad was like, I'm at to get you a jersey. I'm at to get you a jersey over in Turkey. And I swear to God, it was the Juventus Trezeguet jersey. It was the away one. Had Lotto on it. And the thing was fake to bits. Absolutely fake to bits. It looked like literally just like, it was like a set of tinfoil. That's how bad it was. And I was like, I'm never wearing that jersey. Never did. I was showing my mate was in floods, and he still always brings up, he's like, do you still have that Trezeguet jersey? Like, no, I don't. The
Well,
tinfoil.
4 years ago, I bought, and it was in Mammoth, right? And I bought a Messi top, the lime green one with the blue and tap, like the Barcelona third kit. I also
Yeah.
bought a old Bayern Munich kit with Lewandowski in the back as well, and I've still got them. They're not they've not worn out or nothing, so, and I've worn them a few times for 5 sides and that, so I've been fine.
So, well, I got this jersey off a lad on Instagram. I have to say, the quality of it is unbelievable. It's obviously a replica. It's obviously probably a knockoff, but I have to say, it is the comfiest thing. And I really appreciate him sending it to me, and I can't stop wearing it. I really can't stop wearing it.
Yeah, it's a really smart kit, man. I mean, I like that kind of
Love
kit.
Street, 86, Love Street.
Yeah, I would say 2 years after I was born. It shows my age.
Good stuff. On the positive note, at least we won tonight. At least we're not coming on here having a moan about who played this bad. We scored 4 goals. We got a clean sheet. We got Eddie still scoring. Once Eddie keeps scoring, that's what matters. His valuation.
Yeah, I'm really happy we won tonight, and it was a very precise result we got, and it was a really good performance. So it was good that everybody was interacting tonight as well. I mean, it's been a good laugh tonight, for once, instead of moaning about the game, we're actually smiling about it.
That's it. Imagine we got C.R. Smith back in the jerseys. Oh, it'd be vintage.
Are they still going?
They are still going, yeah. The company's still going. Just
I see them on STV. It's got STV in Scotland, and they've got C.R. Smith. Get your windows here, and so I'm like, aye, they must be still going.
Still going. They're a big American company there, but we need something vintage looking on the jersey, that way. The alphabet is just cringy looking. I just feel like we're just a Fulham or a Aston Villa or something with the same kind of logos as other teams. We want to be different,
Yeah, we could have I don't know, Bet 365 or something.
No, we don't need betting. We need to get away from betting companies and alcohol companies. We need something different, something out of the mix.
Well, you see, the thing is, the alphabet have got a deal with Celtic fans, so if you were to go into their site, you'd get so much off, like a free bet or something. So that's what the company Celtic rely on, and they've also got a sponsorship with Ladbrokes, but they've only got it in the stadium, like the betting booths. They've not got them on their taps.
What do you think of the comment there? I was the same feeling when Duffy came on tonight. He was like, "Oh Jesus, here we go."
Yeah, I was like that as well. He has played okay the past couple of games, near the end.
He wasn't well. He wasn't well for a few days. He had a bug or something. Lenny was saying yesterday.
All right, must be a confidence thing.
No, I look at, as I said, I think it obviously hasn't worked out. I know he still has a few games left. He might score. He might score against the Rangers twice in the next last 2 fixtures just to shut them up. Then
that'd be absolutely brilliant. I mean, he's a Celtic man through and through, but at the same time, he's got to prove himself, and he's just not done it this season. But the season's still young. He's still a few games left in the bag, so he might be able to. He might be able to pull a couple of goals against Rangers. I don't know, from set pieces maybe.
That's it. We need something because if Ryan Christie, once we put them rugby goals up, we should be sorted for Ryan Christie. As I said, he scored tonight, but I still think he's on the way out the door.
Well, I'm not sure if Ryan Chris is on the way out the door or not. We have put quite a lot of investment in him, especially the 2 loan spells at Aberdeen, because we kept him in loan spell because we knew he was going to be good. So he might be at the Premiership, maybe, but we just have to see how it goes, who comes in for the players, because every player's got a price. So
Definitely.
If it's a good price and it's good business for us,
And what price-wise, what would you put on that, Ryan Christie?
Ryan Christie, I'd probably put a selling on fee on it, and maybe between, right now, by the way he's playing, 10 to 15 million. with a selling-on fee.
Mm-hmm.
Because he's still young and players are going to take advantage. No, teams are going to take advantage of that.
Well, if he's a Scottish international, he does well in the Euros and he wants to leave, there could maybe a bit of valuation there. He might, if he has a good game against England, the price will go up as well. Funny enough.
Especially if we were to get through to the knockout stage, the price would skyrocket for him. And that's what you want, because, I mean, if we come into a cash windfall when players are getting bought, then it's all good for us, you know.
As I say, that's the biggest fear. It's what we're going to clear out in the summer and money we get. I still don't think we probably won't get the money that we expect for Edward. Oyer goes, we might not get the money for him, which I don't want Oyer to go. Rodgers might get pittance for him because he has 2 years left. You know, that's why they're probably playing Rodgers as well, because they're like, you know what, we need to get him the evaluation up of him.
Yeah, it's just one of the things we just have to sit and pray, and hopefully we get something.
Right, we're going to leave it there. I just want to say thanks to everyone tonight. Look, at the numbers weren't great, because I think a lot of people are just like, 4-0, gone to bed, let's move on, you know. There's nothing to pop the champagne about. There's nothing to say, yes. Like, imagine, it's mad to think this time last year, we were beating Hearts 4-0, or was it 4-0, 5-0 at home?
Yeah.
And we were like, and then they messed up against Kilmarnock, and it was like chaos. So we'll have to see. Like that's last season. Just have to think about this season. So thank you very much, whoever's watched tonight. If he's only new watching it, subscribe to the channel. Gonna get the 5K. Once we get to the 5K, the big news comes out. So yeah, and we'll be back on Saturday night. Talk about the St. Johnstone game on Sunday, and James Forrest might be back as well.
Yeah, hoping the wee man's back. See what he can offer us, just in time for the 2 Glasgow derbies. Hopefully, but I mean, thanks for everybody for watching tonight and having a bit of banter with us. I really enjoy myself.
Happy days. Right, we'll leave it there. I'll talk to you all soon.